Hello again. Welcome back to the Movie Buff Reactions channel. First video of December. And this is a video that I've been waiting to react to, but just for the right time. This is the Nostalgia Critic's Top 11 Poorly Aged Bill Cosby commercials. It's like a kind of like a in-between commercial video. He usually does the big commercial specials every November, but this one came out in April this year, 2024, and I've been waiting to react to this one around winter time because Bill Cosby commercials, Christmas time just kind of feels a bit more fitting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and I know this came out a while ago, but I just felt like I have to react to this, but I had a lot of stuff I was working on back in April, so I figured hold off till just the right time. And before I jump in, I guess I could give my thoughts on Bill Cosby and all that shit. I never was really much of a fan or really watched much of him before the big controversy, because he was always advertised as the family-friendly comedian, and I'm somebody that gorged himself on classic R-rated comedians like George Carlin, Sam Kinison, Eddie Murphy, and it just didn't see any appeal. But after the big controversy, I finally did look at some of his stuff, and give it this, he was pretty good at his act, but some of his stuff is a lot funnier in hindsight. And I believe this came about because in the commercial special Doug Walker did in 2023, they highlighted a commercial or two that Cosby did. I think one was for Leonard Part 6, the only movie of his I bothered to watch when I was younger, just because I was curious because of its bad reputation. I am really excited for this because I love edgy humor, and while Doug still can do some edge, he's kind of brought himself to a place where he tries to not push too much of the stuff that will get him demonetized on YouTube. But I'm really interested to see this, and I remember when this came out, some social justice crybaby complained that they thought the video was just a bunch of rape jokes, and as somebody that loves edgy humor and enjoys himself a good rape joke, I say, bring it on. So, without further ado, let's watch.
This episode brought to you by Chime, the award-winning app and debit card that can save you money today. Hey, folks,
Popular sponsor.
YouTube memberships. If you want access to emojis, polls, behind-the-scenes videos, and other perks, check out and see if you want to become a member. And we'll be at Midwest Gaming Classic in Wisconsin in early April. Hope to see you there.
Shortest intro he's ever come up with.
Hello.
There's a shirt.
Remember, so you
I'm wearing my own nostalgia shirt.
I don't usually get dressed up in my commercial attire unless I'm doing a commercial special. Somebody keeps popping up every single time I go looking for some commercials. I think you know the kind of popping up I'm talking about. Oh yeah, there's more where that came from. Another common phrase you might hear around him. Bill Cosby went from America's darling to one of Hollywood's biggest monsters. As such, there's a ton of ironic advertisements he was in, celebrating what a decent human being he was and capitalizing on it.
Yeah.
Well, sir, if she says no, no means no.
Like I mentioned, there's just so damn many of them.
Fat Albert.
Spacing them out in commercial specials. So, in the special top 11 list, we're going to look at the most uncomfortable, most cringy, and most tugging TV ads, shorts, and yes, even PSAs he's been in. Why top 11? Because this dude deserves a lot more than that. So join me in this journey of bad taste. This is the top 11 poorly aged Bill Cosby commercials.
I'm all for bad taste. Yeah. Jello.
A handful of fun.
Number 11.
You know what's so cool about
this classic?
Gelatin Pops?
Yeah, Jello had a hold on Cosby the same way Cosby often had a hold of something else. There's a ton to mock in this one. It is a little awkward hearing Bill Cosby telling you what you can do with your hands while he sucks on something.
While your right hand is doing this, your left hand can be doing this or this.
Dropping a roofie.
You know.
Or this. Or this. Or this. Or this. Yeah, okay, that was fair.
But if your left hand sees how much fun your right hand is having,
Call the police.
it won't want to be left out.
Oh, trust me, we've been trying to get other names out of Cosby for a while.
Now you have to share.
Again, not entirely convinced you didn't. Like I said, not the biggest list of easy material, but we got 10 left on this list, so let's not...
It's a classic.
Jello gelatin pops. Real Jello gelatin. Only
Never had Jello Pops.
Number 10.
It is catchy.
High C. It's a sensible drink.
I like High
From the
C.
Museum of Classic Chicago Television, which you should certainly check out if you haven't. And once again, there isn't a whole lot in this one, but the few moments that are, you remember.
Hi, being Bill Cosby isn't all fun and games.
Trust me, we're aware. With court hearings and lawyer briefings and clarifying what with intent means.
So, when they asked me to do commercials for High C,
I said, think carefully, this might bite you in the ass later.
every 6 ounces of High C has 100% of the U.S. RDA of vitamin C. High C has 10% real fruit juice.
Just like the drinks he gave people, it has 10% actual juice. Like I said, there's not a ton more, but it does end on one hell of a final line he says to this kid.
It's a sensible drink. Don't you think so? Yeah. Who asked you to talk?
If he had a nickel every time he said that to a young person, he'd own High C. This is one of many Cosby commercials where he's surrounded by kids and many other parents practicing the phrase at the time. Don't worry though, the list only gets worse.
Who asked you to
I
talk?
expect, because so far this is kind of tame.
Number 9.
What kind of grandfather am I?
Your legal team advises you not to answer that. This one is also...
Must be awkward having him as your
The awkwardness
gramps.
count when you just think about Cosby making anything for you and serving you with that devilish smile.
I made delicious new fat-free Jello pudding and invited the grandkids over to try some.
Then they started to get a little tired after having it just from all the running around. From me.
Invited the grandkids over to try some. Too bad they're in Hawaii.
I felt a great relief in the room, as if millions of parents cried out in terror and then were suddenly thankful.
Dessert is back.
I'm not sure he's ever been accused of raping a little kid, but yeah,
Trying to get a comedy special.
these settings can be a bit uncomfortable now.
At number 8. Number 8.
Bill Cosby, best-selling author, TV star,
And cleanest inmate in Cell Block C.
in the hilarious comedy recording, Oh Baby,
Okay, that totally is bad enough, but do you really have to have that face next to it?
and one of the funniest men in the world.
Oh, baby.
Well, Cosby doesn't advertise the product himself in this one. He is the star of it, and, as you'd imagine, it leads to some awkward routines.
Bill Cosby on marriage.
There are things I'm not doing anymore.
We want to believe you.
And not because
I think his wife's still with him.
but because I don't want to.
Okay, that you're not going to sell anyone.
Here's Bill on love.
Here I am dozing off. The first year.
Ugh.
No way.
Why's he
I
got
would doze
freeze?
off.
Well, I think everybody sees the irony here, but continue.
But I love her more today than back then when I stayed awake.
So I figure if I turn the tables, maybe it'd equal more love in my life.
Bill Cosby gives his views on marriage, love, and skiing.
Skiing we can probably skip. The other two we're far more curious about.
On cassette is only $9.95.
Does it have his
Compact
Spanish
disc only
fly bit?
$14.95.
Oh, baby.
Can you stop playing that again? Image of Bill Cosby as the mask dropping his jaw like he just saw an ad for Quaaludes. Needless to say, the nice guy routine might be a little tainted from Cosby, but I think we're used to things being tainted by him at this point anyway.
Plus $2.95 postage and handling.
Especially the taint.
Number 7.
Attention, Pepsi drinkers.
Classic.
Coke stock to drop like the box office for Ghost Dad.
Introducing the new taste of Coca-Cola. The best Coca-Cola ever.
We really couldn't put together this guy was a liar. He was the first person to say New Coke was good.
That's all I'm going to say. In fact, that's all I have to say. No more words.
The last thing said after anybody questioned, why does this taste funny?
This stuff is great. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
If there's anything you should apologize for, it's saying New Coke is good. Alright, that's also true, but you know there's more! I want to complete this unpleasantness. How about a little ASMR of Bill downing an uncertain liquid that we know deep down nobody should legally have in their mouth?
Ugh, the faces.
He made that noise like, I know this ain't Coke I'm swallowing. I don't know who it is, but it ain't Coke. Yeah, I'm okay not hearing any more bodily functions from him. Next ad.
Jiggle, 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 jiggle.
Number 6.
What's making these watermelons wiggle?
I believe a new law has made it clear nobody needs to tell you what's making certain melons wiggle.
More of this.
We just got past the Cheeklers debacle. Do we really need to throw wiggling in there too? Nobody wiggled. Everybody just laid perfectly still. Wait. You might take that as an invite. Just stay away from him.
Watermelon. There could be so many bad race jokes you could
Also
make.
made it clear you cannot make up words anymore, especially wigglicious, tingle jingle, and bouncy bumpies. We didn't think these laws would have to be made, but that's the least of the surprises we got from you.
Hey, no bad.
Only the Pitt Cosby's legal team continues to dig their way out of.
Now you can have your fun and eat it too.
I believe Fun has filed a 20-yard restraining order against you, so I would rephrase that.
The lips are so fucking creepy.
This is also unbearable. Let's cut to another ad. I'm sure we'll be even more uncomfortable.
Classic.
Spleen. What a delightful time.
Jiggle, 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 jiggle.
Number 5.
Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad.
So there were several attempts at Cosby TV shows over the years. And in 1996, a show simply named Cosby was one of them. And while there's certainly been a few uncomfortable
Original.
moments,
Someday get the bare facts.
Oh my God. This is
No.
Right. How old do I have to be before I get that disease?
oh, he's just so not who he really is. This one really takes the cake.
Sometimes Ruthie loves me.
Time out! Oh, wow. And it only gets
Oh, boy.
worse.
If you want that party, you should go upstairs now while the hostess is still awake.
Well, that's not the usual tradition, but Cosby can work with it. Just look at his reaction.
Like a taunt almost.
That's usually the response he gives when the hostess is out. The usual every woman who's ever known him treatment.
What did you on the floor? It was an accident.
He held up his finger like an accident. Maybe that's what I can call it if I ever get subpoenaed. And after watching all that, aren't the words you want to see emphasize Cosby and big? Isn't that the equivalent of seeing the words Weinstein and shower together? Nobody talked about this show when it was on, but man,
It'd be weird not
I'm
to
sure
include
people will
Harvey.
talk about this promo for a bit of time.
Cosby Big Comedy Monday.
Oh, baby.
Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle,
Okay, getting to the really bad ones now.
Yeah, Bill Cosby's blindfolding a minor. What about it?
I finally found a way to keep a kid from knowing I'm making Jell-O pudding for myself.
Which means it's just pudding and nothing else.
First,
That could almost be a lead into a
to keep
shit
from hearing
joke.
the sound of milk pouring.
Milk pouring on its own doesn't sound dirty, but when Cosby says it, it kinda does.
Put on a rubber nose to keep him from smelling the rich chocolate.
Because my God is no senses, no clues.
And a blindfold to keep him from seeing me while I eat my Jell-O pudding.
Let me use this rag to stuff in your mouth and...
Well, again.
Don't worry, a legal loophole will get you out scot-free.
Yeah.
It's pretty short, but seats all your senses in the front row of...
Why not try our new Jell-O pudding recipe? Strike Delight.
I can think of a few reasons.
jiggle, 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 jiggle.
Number 3.
Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Before we start the Fat Albert Show, I'd like to have a word with you young people.
This is a segment from the Fat Albert Show, which Cosby would usually appear in to state the lesson. If you think Bill Cosby spelling out the obvious moral sounds strange, get a load of this.
Now, all of those people who are in prison right now,
Excluding me! Right
Okay.
now, at the moment.
were kids once. And then somewhere along the way, they did something wrong, something dumb.
They got caught. Oh, I mean, they didn't have enough hush money.
Maybe it was getting mixed up with a bad crowd, or maybe it was shoplifting or stealing a car.
Or maybe it was something else.
Whatever it was, it probably started small, became bigger.
No argument here.
Maybe they even got away with it at first and thought they'd never get caught. You were wrong.
Boy, he really should write another book. Are you there, Pot? It's me, Kettle.
Now, they're in prison.
Excluding me. Right now, at the moment.
Yeah.
The prison isn't any fun and it isn't any joke.
There are
You would
people who
know.
call you Vanessa and admire parts of your body you didn't know could be admired.
So play it straight, gang.
Straight is something I can speak from experience many do not practice in prison. Yeah, this one speaks for itself. Prison is bad, and if there's one thing I believe Bill Cosby on, it's that.
That way you'll get where you want to go, not where you don't. Right? Wrong.
I've used that clip in my own reviews.
Jingle,
What
jingle,
can you say about
jingle,
hey?
Number 2.
jingle, jingle, bells, jingle.
This is Bill Cosby. Now that everybody has told you about the dangers of doing drugs, I'd like to tell you about some of the benefits.
Yeah, what a way to start! This was back when Bill Cosby had his hit series, The Cosby Show. And as such, he did some PSAs. This was a basic just say no to drugs one, but for some reason he describes all the terrible things about drugs as benefits. And I don't know why. I mean, I can speculate. He never built up to a punchline. It's not like, ha, fooled ya, or it's a benefit if you're trying to die younger, something ironic like that. He just lists everything you're supposed to not like about them as something he sees as a benefit.
I'd like to tell you about some of the benefits. Just imagine yourself unconscious,
No.
making a visit to a hospital emergency room,
Who put me in that emergency room?
weeks in rehabilitation centers, nights in overcrowded prisons.
Oh, now I see why all this happened. He read the cue card wrong and he took his own advice. It was supposed to read horrors instead of benefits, and he was like, oh, I didn't know this was all good stuff. Maybe I should get on that. Just see how many things he lists that happened to him.
Spending more money than you can afford, ruining your health, hurting your parents, losing your loved ones, and most of all, destroying yourself.
Whatever the reason, it makes for a pretty hilarious PSA looking back.
Remember what I say about doing drugs. I think you can say no.
And I think you should have.
You can say no,
And the number
but he's
one
probably still gonna
48
give it to
Bill
you.
Cosby commercial is White Owl cigars. First off, it's just really weird seeing Bill Cosby advertise cigars on TV. Have you ever seen Ezra Miller in a television commercial for guns? Like, there's worse things you can connect them to, but it's just odd seeing a celebrity, this product, and television commercial together. The reason this is number one, though, is not even because he says like a ton of crazy things that can be taken out of context. In fact, he only says one thing. But he says it over and over.
Sooner or later, you're going to try a White Owl, and when you do, we're going to get you. You know we're going to get you. It's only a matter of time. And we're going to get him, White Owl. We're going to get him. White Owl, we're going to get you.
There is nothing more terrifying than Bill Cosby standing over you with a lit phallic symbol repeating several times, we're gonna get you. He goes from goofball trying to be corny to a perverted Batman villain saying with pure confidence you will not escape him.
Yeah.
It's just so unnerving.
We got you.
The smoke around him just looks like he's preparing a branding iron that says grade A BC meat.
It's only a matter
Or
of
he's
time.
playing the devil
And
again.
we're going to get him, White Owl. We're going to get him. We're going to get you.
I have nothing to say. I'm just so uncomfortable watching this.
We're going to get you. You know we're going to get you.
If you played this on a loop, I guarantee every person who watched it would shit themselves in 3 minutes. There's no words to describe it except... that's not even a word, so there's no words to describe it. It just is. And it should not.
We got you. You know we're going to get you. It's only a matter of time. We're going to get you. We're going to get him, White Owl. We're going to get him. We're going to get you. You know we're going to get you. And we're going to get him, White Owl. We're going to get you.
Wait, how long has it been? Oh my god, I gotta wrap this up. I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Like there's any other way this could end.
Oh, baby!
So that was the Nostalgia Critics Top 11 Poorly Aged Bill Cosby commercials. That was fun. Yeah, they got a lot of good laughs, and I'll say, and maybe it's because, again, he's kind of conflicted, wanting to be funny, but also not wanting to get demonetized. But this actually felt a little light at times, like it could have been a lot worse than it was, and to anybody that was bitching and complaining when this came out, I'm like, oh please. But yeah, that was fun, and with Bill Cosby, like the ones that probably stand out the most to me were the prison drug PSAs. You just like, it's almost like he was daring us to figure out the truth about him. Like this whole video could have just been called Bill Cosby Irony. And the cigar one, at first I'm like, why is that number one? But yeah, the way he's smiling, going and that face that he's known for doing, the rolling the eyes with the puckered smile, I just think, did anyone ever find that fucking appealing before it was revealed that he was a serial date rapist? Because if I saw that face, regardless of the person's reputation or controversy, I'd still think it was fucking weird. Yeah, I don't get why, it's like, it's almost like Jim Varney. I mean, better person, but you look at some of his old Ernest commercials and you wonder just how appealing, like I know they were successful, but I really wonder, were these really hooking people in? It's hard to say which joke Doug made was funny, like what was the funniest, but he was just going non-stop. Some of them were a little cheap, but some of them were pretty on the nose, and again, feel like he could have been a lot nastier or vulgar, but this was fun. It's surprisingly lighter than I expected, but I enjoyed it. It's just simple, straight fun. Like nothing that will, I think, get anybody with a decent enough backbone's panties in a twist. And the classic Jello Pop one, I actually, many fucking years ago on a show I used to do on my other channel, the Old School Trailer Hounds, I actually, with my co-host at the time, watched that particular Bill Cosby commercial, and yeah, it's a cheap one, but it's a classic one to make jokes about, like, your other hand doing this, while your other one's doing this. And the High C one, that was probably the one with the least amount of material to work with, but interesting because I love High C when I get a chance to drink it, and yeah, the oh baby, that made for good fodder. Can't always see why he had that be the closing line at the end. New Coke, the slurping, yeah, and the Cosby promo, Roofie loves me. I love reacting to these, but it's hard not to speak out loud, because I know I did that a few times, and I tried to hold back because I didn't want to miss too many of the jokes, but god fucking cock-sucking damn. And let's see, oh yeah, the milk, the blindfold of the kid, and yeah, seeing him act this way with little kids is very unnerving now, and as far as I know, no one's accused him of raping a little kid, but yeah, it's hard to watch this and not be like, oh my god. And something I wanted to bring up, just for my own experience with Bill Cosby, is back in the day when I was first starting out on YouTube, like when I was doing horror movie reviews, I would usually, because it was like a year after people started accusing him, I would watch the Fat Albert opening credit sequence to get myself prepped in the horror mood. And I remember, like, I'm pretty sure some people wrote these in the comments section, but the Fat Albert intro alone has so many potentials for tasteless jokes, like the way Fat Albert goes, "I'm Fat Albert, and I've got a song for you, and Bill's gonna teach you a thing or two." I think someone wrote, and I think I might have come up with my own version at one point. I've got a rape for you, and Bill's gonna slip you a pill or two. I know. It's cheap, terrible, but it's hard not to laugh, and someone that loves dark humor, this was good. Not sure the shit fart at the end was his strongest note to go out on, but overall, it was fun, and weirdly, not too polarizing for audiences, I feel like this could reach a lot of people just for the sheer fucking irony of things, and hope everybody's got a good start to December, and I will see you again hopefully soon.